I want to do a quick video on modifications that I've done to my Forest River Rpod 180. First, what I did is I actually added a lithium battery to it. So it's a 100 amp hour lithium battery. I wired it inside to the coach because lithium batteries do not like the cold, and sometimes we're out camping when it's fairly cold. So that was pretty simple. I did have to replace the converter because the converter went bad, of course, just like they always do in the 180. I did also add a power cutoff switch, 12 volt cutoff switch right there, so that way I can cut the power to the coach from right there instead of on the outside. I added a solar charge controller right there. It's just a cheap little PWM, but looking online they seem to not do too bad. Also, this right here is basically a solar cutoff, so I can cut off the solar power, because what I was finding when I first installed, the solar power that was coming in was still powering all the 12 volt system because it wasn't cut off prior to the battery, basically. So yeah, so I had to add that right there. So that's just my little solar cutoff switch, and it works, it does the job. We also added a larger TV. I think this is maybe a 32-inch TV. I know for the camper it's a pretty big TV, but you know what, it's kind of nice to have a big TV at nighttime when you're watching watching TV or whatever. That's what I do to keep, I just basically put a cup there and it keeps the door open, so that way no nasty smells get in the fridge when it's not being used. Let's go around to the back. On the back side, it's kind of hard to see it, but I added a camera, a backup camera. So that basically powers up when the running lights are on. So whenever the running lights are on, that camera is active. And I'll show you what I did as far as the solar panel goes. So it's a 110 watt solar panel that I added. Right there, that's the 110 watt solar panel. So I used Eternabond and double-sided that VHB tape. And I also, just for good measure, I use some aircraft cable to really make sure that it doesn't go anywhere on both sides. The back end again, VHB tape, and then Eternabond. So hopefully shouldn't go anywhere. I think when I bought this, it did have this antenna, so it's a little bit different than the factory antenna. Actually, I like it because it's smaller. Let's see here. Go up to the front here. On the front end, I added 7 pin, I added just a little holder for that. I also added just a box, things that we don't use very often, for extra things. These are basically extra hoses, extra sewer hoses, some caulk, something that I can travel around with. It is lockable right there, so instead of having to take things apart, what I did is if I can get it open here, I basically set the lock, drill the hole, and you can see the lock is, yeah, the lock is, follow my finger here, the lock is right there, so it's totally hidden. That's how I can lock it. The front of the coach has power even when the power is cut to the back, so that way when I have it in storage, I have a storage place that I take it to, that way they can move it around if they need to. I added a little frog sticker, so I think they're kind of cool looking, and just kind of sticking around with the whole idea of the frog on the Rpod. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've done on the Rpod. Oh, what I found when I ran the cable for the solar panel, there's the vent for the shower, I'm guessing, and there's some kind of a vent on the roof up here. And what I did is it just came down from up here on the inside of the wall. I found it, I fished it, and then managed to pull it down underneath into here. It's somewhere right in here. There's actually probably right here, there's a chase that actually goes from one side of the pod to the next. So it just goes from right there to there, and then it comes out, there's the chase right there, and then, you know, I wired it directly to the battery, so that way it's powering directly to the battery, the 12 volts, so, or solar, I should say. Yeah, so that's how I did the solar, so it's all completely inconspicuous, and I didn't put any holes into the actual fiberglass. That actually went right down next to the vent pipe there. So if you have any questions, comments, editorials, dissertations, feel free to leave a comment, and I will definitely try to respond. Thanks for watching.